We've got some.
Hey, I'm Luis.
And I'm Luis.
And you're listening to the Content is Profit podcast.
We spent the last 4 years learning the strategies and techniques from some of the top marketers in the world on how to create content that turns into profit.
If you'd like to learn more on how to turn that content into profit, go to contentisprofit.com. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, guys. Go right now. We have a little surprise for you.
That's right.
And today we have an awesome guest, awesome topic. Today's hook is from food stamp to $10 million
There's
in
so
revenue.
much
But
in there.
Exactly.
There's so much. I can't wait to dig
Yeah,
in. Can't
exactly.
wait. Guys, Fancy, do we have a sponsor today?
We do.
Let's say yes.
Yes, and today's sponsors
All right.
is your own Biz Bros right here. Yes, we are
Your
the
favorite
sponsors of our own episodes with Content Momentum. What is Content Momentum, you might be asking? And if you produce long-form content just like the one that you're listening to or watching right now, and you want it turned into value-packed, bite-sized assets, and then turn them into little minions that go into social media and get clients for you, then just slide into the DMs. We want to help you out.
That's right.
At BizBrosCo on Instagram or Facebook. We want to talk to you and help you out. We are ready.
If you're listening, guys, please go ahead and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button so you know when those episodes are dropping on your phone, packed with value. # golden boulders and follow us on social media at BizBrosCo.
That's right. And if you find this episode impactful, which I am sure you will, because today's guest is epic.
Awesome.
Don't forget to share it and leave a 5-star review.
Oh yeah, today we have an incredible guest. We can already feel her energy through the screen.
Oh yeah.
Not only that, but our awesome friend and Content is Profit Hall of Famer Marley Jax is the one that introduced us. We've seen some Instagram stories of Marley saying that today's guest is one of her favorite people.
I have no doubt she'll be one of our favorite people as well.
That's right.
Just listen to this. She was a professional boxer for about 8 years, winning 2 world titles. That's
Let's
just
go.
extremely epic. Now, she's on a mission to rock the weight loss industry while changing people's lives. Just how badass is
So
that?
badass. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, she built a business from food stamps to 10 million smackaroonies.
So take out your notepads.
She is the author of the Code Red Revolution, host of the Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle podcast, and she has been asked to speak on stage in front of 6,000 high-level entrepreneurs.
This is gonna be extremely epic, guys. Like we said, take out your notepads, because this is gonna be golden boulders everywhere.
Everywhere.
Please welcome founder of the Code Red Lifestyle, another future best friend. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And most epic hairstyle ever,
Cristy! Code Red! Let's go!
You guys make me sound so good.
Welcome, Cristy. We're so excited to have you here.
So pumped.
You guys, what a great intro. You guys are so good to me. I love it.
Thank you. And thank you for enduring all the technical issues
know.
that we got at the beginning going on over here.
Today,
I was thinking, well, geez, I could have gone pee while they were doing all that. I could have, I would have gotten a fresh cup of coffee. While
There we go.
It's so good. I know today, like with live change of schedule, we chatted a little bit, behind cameras, and of course, it happens. Episode 90. I think this is a true testament for those like trying to publish out there. Like just go do it, right? Like it make it fun. Enjoy it.
Yes.
Fonzie got the sweaty armpits. I'm
Dude,
shaking like crazy.
Yeah, I get a little nervous, get the sweaty armpits. And it's funny because when Marley came for the first time, we had so many technical issues. It's probably the time that we've had the most technical issues. And of course, one of our best friends comes on and we get technical issues as well.
I guess we gotta keep up the tradition,
Right.
Cristy, thank
Never
you
fails.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Like, tell us a little bit about who you are. I mean, your story is incredible, right? Yeah, you're out there everywhere. You're helping like millions of people with your message, right? Thousands with your products, and if probably a lot more. But how do you get there? How did everything start? Who's Cristy?
Yeah. Well, I was raised poor on a ranch in northern Idaho, and my dad was a cop and our local minister. It was a very small town, and we just had no money. And so when I left home at 18 after I graduated and I wanted to go to college, I had nobody to help me. I had absolutely nothing. And so I started waiting tables. I was just waiting tables and bartending as a way to make money. And I was approached by a boxing instructor, and he says, how long you been boxing? I was just taking a boxing class, and I said 44 minutes. And he said, you have a propensity for fighting. Well, I'd never been in a fight. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't care. I was putting myself through nursing school, just scraping to get by. And I said, well, whatever, pal. And he said, you can get paid to fight. Well, then my ears were like, oh, ding, ding, ding. Okay, what do you mean by that? So I started literally as fighting in boxing to pay for my dinner. And little did I know, I didn't care about boxing. I wasn't a boxing fan. I didn't care. I was just trying to pay my way through nursing school. And little did I know it would explode. I would have my own show on MTV. I would have numerous magazine covers. I would just because in boxing, if you're pretty and you can fight, and if you can get butts in the seat, that's the name of the game. It's only 50% about how well you actually fight, and it's how well can you fill out the arena. And so my boxing career exploded. Problem was, I started getting fat halfway through my career, which didn't make any sense because I was training 3 to 5 hours a day. And when I realized, well, I was getting fat because of the food I was shoving in my pie hole, then I changed my diet. I ended up creating the Code Red lifestyle, which levels the playing field for everybody because exercise has nothing to do with weight loss. So that's how I got here.
Wow. That is so interesting about, honestly, I haven't heard someone say that about exercise and weight loss. And I was listening to one of your podcasts. I went all the way back to the archive, right? Episode number 1. And I was listening to it and I was like, wow, that is so cool. And of course, my marketing mindset was like, what a cool way also to position yourself. And it comes from inside, like, because it's true, right? Like what you're talking about, of course. So, but by you speaking your truth, you at the same time, you're like carving a space for your own, which is pretty epic. And we're going to dive into that in just a little bit. But I'm curious to know, how did the whole Code Red thing came off? Like why Code Red too? I don't think I've heard why that name came up.
I was sitting in one of my nursing classes and my first fight was coming up, and my sister Carrie, we were talking on the phone, and she said, hey, sis, your first fight's coming up. You got to have a ring name. And I said, a ring name? I mean, again, I don't know anything about boxing. And she said, like Cristy, Black Widow, Nickel. And I said, oh. And she goes, like the wrestlers do and stuff. You got to have like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I said, well, what the heck am I going to call myself? And she goes, let's see. How about Cristy Code Red, code for the medical field that you're studying, and red for your red hair, and it'd be like Cristy Code. Well, holy crap. I mean, it got voted the best ring name in boxing history. And so I've had it for years, and I just kept everything, and I just kept the Code Red.
That's incredible. Awesome. Yeah.
We love those kind of stories, right? Because, sometimes on the show, we come up with terms like, the hashtag golden boulder or the hashtag table face and these things. And through the messaging, we test things out, right? We send it out there for the audience to be like, see if it catches, right? And then we see people doing it again, and we see people like reaching back out, like, hey, tell me more about that, right? And I found incredible, like, your story on your name, right? Which is now your brand, which now helps so many people, right? And how it started, right? And sometimes people kind of like overthink, that kind of stuff. And they're like, man, I'm just sitting here adding a ton of friction to not only my business, but like my publishing and consequently to like everything that comes right after, because I cannot just figure out it. So I found this incredible because like, hey guys, just like put it out there, right? See what happens, change your perspective. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like send it out to the audience, get feedback. And if it works, sweet, keep it. And you are the testament to that. So thank you for sharing that.
I think it's also enduring long enough with a name, right? Like being repetitive and saying it and being consistent with your message. I mean, you have been nothing but consistent with your message around weight loss, and look at the results. They're massive. Thousands of people's lives have changed. So question, and this is very just curiosity. This is a question, honestly, for me. Since when have you had that awesome hair?
Say that again. You cut out one more time.
Since when have you had that awesome hair?
Oh, when did I do the haircut?
Yeah.
Well, I had the haircut when I had the mohawk when I was fighting, and then I grew it out and it was down to my butt and it was blonde. And I think that, and then I ended up, I think 3 years ago, I just called up my other sister who's a cosmetologist and I said, hey, what are you doing right now? She said, nothing. I said, come over, let's shave my head. And I just went from having my hair down to my waist to shaving it like 3 years ago. And I'm 44 years old. So at some point, this is going to become creepy. It's going to be like that creepy old lady, And so that's why I'm hitting hard and I'm being consistent with my message and my brand. And I'm putting it, I'm not letting off the gas pedal. I mean, I am reaching millions and making millions as long as I possibly can.
So amazing.
I love how you live and breathe your brand. It's incredible.
So, Cristy, question. So, I mean, you go into this incredible journey of being a boxer, having this show, right? Like just being in front of an audience, right? What made you be like, okay, going from my own things, like I got to find out the solution to the issues that I'm encountering, right? To turning that into a business. Like what was that moment that ignited the movement?
The moment that ignited the movement, when I realized I was fat, even though I was super fit, I'm an elite level, world-class athlete, one of the top 3 most dangerous females on the planet, but yet my stomach hurt, my head hurt. I mean, I didn't feel good all the time. When I realized that exercise had nothing to do with weight loss and it was the food, and I created this lifestyle, I think that trying it on myself first and then trying it on my family members, and then as I kept trying it, I realized this is really, that I don't know if that was one pivotal moment as far as deciding that this was the right lifestyle. Yeah. But I know the pivotal moment where I turned it around as far as making money and getting my message out there. I do know that exact moment when that happened. Do you want to hear what that moment was?
Yes. Absolutely. Let's go. Exclusive. Let's go.
Yeah. When I realized that my message needed to be out there, I didn't understand the internet. I didn't understand the marketing of the internet. Thank you so much for that compliment. I appreciate that. And so I was sitting in a little office downtown Boise, just waiting for people just to come in, because that's what I thought you did. And so I was only able to reach one person at a time. When Natasha came into my life and wanted to lose weight, she's a business coach. She said, you need to be reaching more people. And she shifted my business. That's when I went from being on food stamps to 10 million in 3.5 years. And so that pivotal moment was listening to someone smarter than me. Guys, listening to me right now, everybody listening to me right now. There are people out there that have nailed it. And you've got to do what do they say? A smart man learns from his own mistake, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. Well, I got a whole list of mistakes I can tell you don't do. And that's what it was. I listened to people who were smarter than me. And that's how I was able to, just explode.
Wow. I love that story. I mean, for many, many things, right? Especially the listening to people that have done it, because I think it's an ego thing, right? When we started, and we've told this story before, we spent like 3 years pretending we had a business, but we were more like freelancers trying to like get by and do any sort of job that we were encounter. And I think it was an ego thing, like, hey, I just want to do it all by myself. And now looking back at it, is not only was ego, but it's like, I think I was afraid of looking for help, because it would put me in a place where I have to accept that I don't know it all, right? That it kind of like leads you into that vulnerable spot. So thank you for sharing that. And I think this is the perfect moment to ask a question that I wanted to ask at the beginning.
Let's go.
Because for me, in my eyes, you are an extremely like amazing marketer, right? Like you live your brand, like your message is on point. I was listening to some of your podcasts and some of the episodes, right, with other hosts, and I was like, wow, like her positioning, everything is just is extremely well done and crafted. So have you ever been a good marketer per se? Like when you were growing up talking to people, did you have that facility, or did you learn that, with this business coach that kind of like introduced you to this whole new world?
That's such a great question. No, I was an Idaho farm kid. I've never been taught any of this stuff. We were never, my parents have a lack mentality and they don't, we were just supposed to get married and have kids and that's just what you do. So I've never been taught. Up until 4 years ago, I was never taught. I didn't understand sales. I didn't like sales. Now I sell every chance I get everywhere I go. So it was completely learned, but my confidence in my message, I know what I do. There is nobody better at getting weight off people than me. And I'll stand up in front of anybody, put myself up against anybody. I know I have such a confidence for my niche, for what I do. And I don't get into other crap I don't know how to do. And I don't act like I know how to do it, but this I've got. And so I have such an incredible confidence in my message. And what I learned was no matter what I do, people are going to hate me and people are going to put me down and they're going to hate on me. So I don't worry. Like, you get the hate, you get the other, when my hair was long and blonde, I got hate. I get hate everywhere I go. So you might as well lay your head down at night knowing you're living your true self and your true message. So I am very, very rock solid on exactly what I know and what I do, and everything else I outsource because I'm not good at other things. But this one thing I've got nailed.
Wow, I think this is such a valuable lesson for people that are listening right now, because I can literally feel your passion just like punching me through the screen, which is awesome. And I say this because a lot of people get into, building a business sometimes for the need aspect, right? And I know we were in that part. We were like, we just need money, right? We just want to make money. And I think it's difficult to actually craft your message and come out and have that confidence that you're talking about, that passion to share your message that you want to help people, right? And I think it's something, me personally, in this last year that we have started to grow and gain momentum, I've started to discover wow, I'm seeing the change that creating content and putting content out there has done on me. And through that, I've been finding a meaning and a passion on, wow, I want other people to experience this as well. So for those listening, I think sometimes we need to do a little digging and be like, what is that real reason that we're doing what we're doing, right? Am I truly passionate about? Because I think this passion totally correlates to great marketing.
So, sorry, go ahead, Cristy, go ahead.
And you can't be all things to all people. I know exactly who I target. There are some people that are so turned off by me and they hate me, and they hate my hair. They hate the way I walk. They hate the way I talk. They hate everything about me, and they're not going to respond well to my message. That's totally okay. I tried at one point to change the way I tried to soften my look, and I blended in. My worst fear is blending in. Let me tell you guys, listen to me right now. You don't want to blend in. Don't blend in. How are you supposed to reach the world? And the world needs to hear you, and they need you to show up. Why would you blend in? So even if you have that small slice of the market that you target and you do okay and you feed your kids and your success is there from that small slice of the market, there's enough cheddar for all of us.
Absolutely.
You do your thing and I'll do my thing, and I am not going to change my message because one stupid idiot off Instagram doesn't like the way I said something. Bullcrap. Enough people do like it. Yeah. I'm not slowing down. I'm not changing the thing that I'm doing, and neither should you.
Absolutely. I think you read my mind, because I was going to ask you that, you mentioned, you mentioned confidence in my niche, right? That's it. So I was going to ask you, have you ever been tempted to, try different things? And you just said it hey, I try to soften my look, and maybe on the branding side, but have you been tempted, obviously, as you were starting to do something different as far as what you teach, what you preach, what you do? And if you did, what happened? And then what's the advice for people that are in that position today, where it's oh man, I understand my niche, but I'm not getting enough traction there. So should I try something different? What's the story there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've got 3 business coaches that have been with me for years, the same 3 coaches. And I pay a lot for these guys, and they've been able to get out ahead of me and keep me on the straight and narrow, because there are things I know, but man, there are a lot of things I don't know, and so getting weight off people, I got that nailed. but other things. So I have some, in fact, I just got back late last night from Nashville doing a VIP day with 2 of my other coaches. And we were like, how can we repackage this? And we're going to try something new, and we're going to kind of repackage, and we're going to throw a hook in the line, and we're going to see if we catch a fish.
Yeah.
And so I do believe in taking the same message, but maybe a different angle, a different approach.
Yeah.
Just be careful, because you can take your focus in a million different directions.
Yeah.
And now you're not serving what you're not even hitting the basics of what you need to be doing. So you can get distracted. And that's what's good about having mentors and people around you to be like, listen, I don't think this is the right direction you should go.
Yeah.
But it is good to branch out a little bit. I've fallen on my face a couple of times, but I am going to throw my line in the water on a couple of different other angles, and we're going to see how we do with that.
That's awesome. I hear perspective, right? It's like, okay, let me just throw this out there and see what happens, instead of like, let me throw this out there. I'm like, I hope a lot of people do it, and that's a new way, right? Like, let me change the perspective and do like, let's try things out. And I think we were chatting on that yesterday on content. When we change the perspective on content, it has to be perfect before it goes out. Like, that stopped like all the publishing, everything, right? So if we stop publishing, it stops the whole machine of the message going out. So we're like, remove that friction. And I think like on the product side, on the business side, you've done that pretty well, where you're just like, hey, we have this thing, but let's see what happens here, right? If it works, let's explore that possibility. If it doesn't, that's fine. Let's get back to it, right? And is that constant, steering of what are you doing? So this is so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned focus. I think, I don't think we've said it. We've mentioned this in plenty of episodes. That has been our word for 2020, right? I mean, at the beginning of the year, we went to Funnel Hacking Live, which is an awesome event. It was the first time we went there, and we were so excited. And we heard Dan Henry talk about focus, right? And we're like, that's what we have been lacking all these years.
Yeah.
We have been all over the place. Yeah, it was literally a slap in the face. And we decided we need to focus. And as soon as we started focusing, that's when everything took off.
Changed.
But I want to add here that it's not just focus on the business, but you only have 3 business coaches. And you said you only had 3 business coaches throughout your career, right? And I think that's impressive, because nowadays we're like, oh, I want to learn this from this person and this from that other person. And then we're following like 90 different people with 90 different messages. And we're
so hard.
And even though we think we're focused on our business, right? Our attention is split between other 90 people, right? That have different ways of doing things. So I find this so awesome that you're sharing this, because people out there, they do need to pick someone. Like, hey, pick someone that you relate to, that you want to grow with, right? You want to follow their path as well, and stick to them. Like, learn, like you said, I think it was, a smart man learn from their mistakes, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. So let's just learn from the people that have done it so many times. And I'm curious, what led you, right, to pick these people as your mentors?
Natasha Hazlett and Rich Hazlett, she came to me. She's the original one in April of 2016, who came to me for weight loss and then just saw the potential in me in my program. And so not only has she been through the program, and she is a Code Red Rebel, she's been there from the very, very beginning. And she sees what people need, what people want. She's in the trenches. She's boots on the ground. She's got her finger on the pulse. So every single idea she's ever had is $1 million idea. And I'm not going to let her go. And then my other business coach, I wanted another person that could come in a different systems perspective. We're up to 61 employees, and I needed systems. Well, Natasha doesn't do systems. And so I interviewed a couple of different, I interviewed Alex Sharfin. I interviewed a couple of different people, and I settled on James Friel because he came at it with a different perspective.
Love it.
And, it's funny because I was at the Grant. I'm a huge Grant Cardone fan, and I had a chance to work with Grant Cardone and spend a day with him as a VIP and have him help me with my business. And I turned it down because Grant does not understand me and Code Red. And I'm not going to sit there and explain to him years of this. And I'm not going to, because we are different. We don't do shakes, pills, diet foods, or exercise. My approach is different. My target niche, I have a very specific target niche. And I'm not going to spend half the freaking day for 50 grand to explain to Grant about Code Red so he can give me some advice. No. I picked my people. I got my people, my business coaches that all I connected with them. We have a long time history. And it's just, I don't know, as far as picking a business coach, man, you got to pick people who have proven success, because I see this all the time. People that say, oh, I'm a business coach or I'm a life coach. Where is your proof? I got it right here on my computer. You can't see it. It's a big sign that says prove it. Cristy, prove what you're saying. Show up. Where's your proof? I got proof for getting weight off people. Where's your proof for growing people like me up into 100 million?
Wow. So incredible. You are so confident in what you do and your mission and your message and your people and your community. And I think, for people starting up, they might be a little bit confused, right? When when the time comes to pick that mentor, right? Because they're like, oh man, like they see them way high, right? And then they feel, or because we were there, right? And I can speak from there because we felt that pain. We're like, oh man, should we change what we do because we need to work with that person, right? And as we started learning and like diving in, and we're like, no, like we have this fire inside of us. For us, is going freaking live, telling your message, make the freaking mistakes, have fun through the process, right? Publish. That has been like our message from day, one since we started the show. And we're like, okay, we don't want to change that, right? The second we like implemented like that consistency and that focus, and we were able to find also the right mentors for us right now, right? And we're in constant looking like, who's that person that can understand? So it's so gratifying to listen to you say that, because I think this is going to help a lot of people that are in similar positions. And we have some questions coming in. So here's like, what's your best advice for growing your tribe? And you have a we're going to dive into the community and building that, and how's that meaningful for you and your business. So what is your best advice on the community side of things?
I'm sitting here debating back and forth, because this is exactly what I'm going to be talking about in Marley's Content Machine Live. Yeah, and I mean, I have my top 3 points, and I'm thinking, boy, I don't know if I want to spill the beans on that, because I'm thinking, oh, this is exactly, if you don't have a ticket to that event, you can still get one. It's happening right now. Absolutely. I'm telling you, I might want to steer you towards that.
Let's do that.
Because I have built from nothing. I mean, we have thousands of people coming into our challenge every month, and my first challenge was 35 people. But I will tell you, I poured into the people. Now, when you're building your tribe, just understand that they will take a piece of your soul. They will. It's like, my little piece of my heart is taken every time. So you have to guard yourself and guard your energy, but you also need to connect. And that's why I show up on camera. You guys that follow me on Instagram, you'll see me show up on camera with no makeup, right out of bed, with sweaty from a workout, whatever, like upset with my husband. Like I show up real and authentic. Yeah. And that is the best. People can sniff out a phony from a mile away. So if you try to be perfect for your tribe, they cannot relate to you. So don't try to be perfect. Don't make sure. I mean, you know how many mistakes I've made? And I tell people the mistakes I've made. Yeah. Oh man, I like whatever. Be authentic with your tribe, and they will learn to trust you, therefore buy things from you.
Absolutely, guys. And if you're watching right now, the event is going on. Please go get your tickets, contentmachinelive.com.
Yes.
And also get your VIP ticket. contentmachinelive.com/VIP. We'll be there with Brad Gibb as well tomorrow, Saturday. So today, amazing stuff with Cristy out there, killing it on stage with Marley. I think who's coming to it? Russell and Steve Larson will be there as well. So
what a day.
Value packed day. I mean, just today is worth it. So go get your tickets. And Cristy, thank you for that tease, because we will be there for sure.
Notepad ready to take notes. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
It's simple too. It's simple. I think that you guys that you're listening right now, you way overcomplicate it. There's a book called Ready, Fire, Aim. That just pull the trigger. Done is better than perfect. Just get it out there. That funnel is going to have mistakes in it. We put a funnel at. The funnel is making money, and then I look through it and I see a couple of misspellings or a couple of fonts or something, and then I contact IT and say, hey, I know this funnel is rocking and rolling, but I just caught some mistakes. Like, it was already making money. So if I would have been keeping it perfect, don't worry about it being perfect. You are not perfect. Your client's not perfect. Your tribe is not perfect. Just put it out there. Absolutely. You have something that they need. You have a product and service that's going to bring hope to that person. Get it out there. It doesn't matter if your font isn't perfect.
You just hit on two of my favorite topics right now, which is perfection, right? Like I used to be that guy that put a camera over here, another camera. I was like, oh yeah, the lighting, like I gotta look good on both sides of the camera, and then I have to edit it and put effects on so it looks awesome. And guess what? That content never saw the light because I'll be like, it's not good enough. And then I realized that was just my fear speaking for me. I was like, I'm not being a perfectionist. I'm just afraid of putting myself out there, right? And the other topic that you mentioned was simplicity, which lately, again, going back to our beginnings, I used to have the shiny object syndrome, and I was like, oh, the funnels, look, all these amazing funnels of 185 steps. Like, how do I create my own 185 step funnel? And the thing is, like, no, it's way more simple than that. And the other day, actually, I think it was Monday or last week, we were talking to Mike C-Rock.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we would ask him questions and he would answer with the same answer, right? He was like,
we were coming at him with different angles all around him. Just same answer all the time.
He was like, commitment. And I was like, wow. I came to this conclusion that I was like, it's funny how your answer is always commitment, right? So simple, yet we tend to overcomplicate things every single time, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we have this mindset where it's like, if it's complicated, it's important, right? When in reality, I feel like if it's simple and you can do it consistently, that's when it becomes important. So my question to you is, why do people tend to complicate things? What do you think goes internally in someone that they want to do things complicated instead of just doing the simple steps?
I'm really good when it comes to mindset stuff. I'm not your best. I'm a very black and white, kind of a military worker bee, kind of a simple, I'm not good with like, somebody's self-sabotaging. What's your Okay, look, bull crap. I just call bull crap. I'm saying get up, get dressed, put a bra on, and throw something out there. And people, I think they think, well, if it's got to be complicated in order for it to make money and stuff. But you're not even showing up for the basics. I think I can't even get somebody to nail the basics. They won't even put up any kind of a post, and they won't even put up a live. Like, you just got to turn your camera around and you got to like say, hey, I'm a Mary Kay rep. I'm selling this foundation. Look, it's foundation number N3, and I'll ship it to you. Go ahead and DM me for this. Like, it doesn't. So I think people, they get caught up in the complication of things, but they won't even nail the basics. And so they get overwhelmed because they're like, look at this. I can't build this beautiful funnel. I don't know anything about funnels. So they say, screw it. I'm not going to do anything. And then they binge watch Game of Thrones for 4 days. Look, my company makes an average of $15K a day. If I do not show up, then that's every hour. That's money that I'm not making. And so I can't delay. There is no delay for me, and there is no delay for you. But you're just weaving these bullcrap excuses. Day by day goes by. You ain't getting any richer. You are not reaching the people that you need to reach because you are getting way too complicated in the process. You're getting too caught up in the process instead of just throwing something out there. See if it works. Throw your line in the water. See if you catch a fish.
So amazing.
Yes.
You say, that mindset is not your thing. I think mindset, it is your thing. You're like, Booker, cut everything out. Just like, go ahead, do it, walk the talk. And, like I said, like for us, for the longest time where, Fonzie was like living the fake entrepreneur life on the laptop, right? And, we live in this apartment complex that has
Fun fact. I remember the first day that I was working from home.
This is like, what, 4 years ago, 3 years ago? Yeah.
No, more, 5 years, 4 or 5 years ago. I remember I had one of those like pop-up tables, those white ones, and we had this yard, so I put the table outside. I love being outside, and I put this chair, I put my laptop in there. Honestly, I had no idea what I was gonna do that day. I just put my laptop in there, and then I grabbed my phone and I took a picture of it and I put laptop lifestyle.
Oh gosh,
and I put it on my stories, right? And I was like, no, what am I doing? Like, now I look back at it and I'm like, wow, like that was sad, honestly. And probably that day I didn't get anything done either, right? Immediately I probably went into like Instagram, Facebook, and started putting all these excuses on why I'm not doing the things that I need to do, which at the end of the day is like you said, it's kind of black and white. Like either you do it or you don't.
Yeah, I remember we, for us, everything changed when we decided to go live every single day for 45 days straight, right? We had this crazy bad experience where we sat down and we're like, we deal with content, right? We did all this content for other people, right? For other clients. And then we're showing like the results. And then people were like, where are your stuff? Where's your stuff? Like, if you don't do it, like, how am I supposed to believe you, right? Like, you just said it, prove it, right? And we're like, man, like, I just wanted the floor to, like, sync with everybody, right? And we're like, man, we sat down and we're like, okay, this is our capacity. These are all resources today. What can we do? Like, what's the thing? And we're like, okay, the minimum viable content. That's the thing that we're going to do. We just got to strip all the friction and just do it, right? And for us, that meant going live for this less than 10 minutes a day, right? I assure everybody right now listening or watching can go through their phones and see like how much time they're spending on social media every single day, right? It's at least an hour, at least. For sure. So can you take 10 minutes of that and be like, hey, here's my story. This is what happened today. If you want to find out more, come talk to me, right? And that's exactly what we did. Day 15, guys, it didn't take much. Day 15, we landed a $80,000 contract. And we're like, what? Yeah. Just with a Facebook Live, without a website, without a fancy funnel. And that's what it takes. So that's the proof. And then we did it again. And then day 15 again. And then we did it with the show. And the reason we do it live is because of that reason, to stay consistent every single day. And then resources go up, and then you can build a team, and then you can build systems. And it was incredible. So I'm very passionate about this. So I was so excited right now that you said like, yes, go ahead, do it,
I just thought of something. And you're totally right. I mean, you're pumping me up too. A lot of people, they have a fear of when no one shows up live to watch them. So you commit, I'm going to go live every day, and then nobody's showing up. And your confidence, and I get it, guys, I get it. But listen, if you can get past this, you will be so much better off. If you pull up, you got your Instagram, you got your Facebook right here, you got all your devices set up if you're like me, and then nobody's watching you, and you're trying to have passion, you're trying to talk about like online Bible courses, you're talking about, how to plumb a sink, like whatever you do, whatever your business is, and nobody's watching, and people, and their confidence goes down. And guys, I'm telling you, there's an old saying, just because they don't follow you doesn't mean they don't follow you. Just because they're not showing up live at 11:23 a.m. because maybe they're changing their 2-year-old stuff, like that doesn't matter. Like, you just need to show up. Don't worry about who's watching live. Don't worry about the numbers. You just show up, and you will build a tribe. You will build your income. You will build your revenue, but you have got to be consistent with it. No matter if anybody's watching, you show up.
You just said the key word there, and it's consistent, right? Like, consistency has been the game changer for us. And actually, the whole thing on 45 Live, it started because we did, we play collegiate soccer. We were always consistent practicing. And then when we stopped, when our career was over, we were like, playing here and there, but we weren't being consistent. And we took on Andy Frisella's 75 Hard Challenge. And we did the whole thing, 75 days, working 2 times a day. And at the end of it, we were like, wow, like we were consistent with this thing for 75 days in a row. And they were like, how can we translate this into content? How can we be consistent? Because that's what's going to take us. That is that compound effect. Like, you start and maybe you don't start seeing results for a while. And then all of a sudden you start gaining momentum, and it goes up, up, and up. And we actually have a comment here that makes me smile. It says, I love it. This is literally giving me... Wow, you moved it. Oh, this is literally giving me the biggest kick up on the butt to just go for it. No more excuses.
Let's go.
That's right. No more excuses.
Good job.
I want to go and take like a boxing class right now. I'm so pumped up, Cristy. Thank you so much.
Cristy, we were chatting a little bit before, like behind cameras, like on the athlete stuff, right? Like we mentioned it like maybe for a second, but we've noticed it, right? With the athlete is used to making mistakes, is used to learning from those mistakes. Is like repetition, right? Like for us on soccer, right? Like you go out into the field and you fail more times that you succeed, but you still keep playing, right? So do you think, like, you as a former athlete, right, or still an athlete, I'm gonna consider you as still an athlete, like, do you think that mentality like helps people in business? And if they haven't lived something like that, what can they do to kind of start moving forward and getting that momentum?
Yeah, being a professional fighter for almost 8 years, people only saw the fights. You know, I had 15 pro fights, but every other day, I mean, every single day for 3 to 5 hours a day, I was training. And so I showed up. You just do the grind every day as an athlete. You do the grind, you do the drills, you do the foot drills, the hand drills, and that kind of stuff. So you know how to just do the drills, because that's what's going to come out in the fight. You know, and so we, as athletes, we just know to go through the motions. So that's ingrained in me to stick to my schedule and to stick to my routine, because I know it's going to pay off. I know that's what's going to pay off. And so that's what's helped me growing my business is from being an athlete and to doing the grind in my business and showing up consistently. Absolutely. The other thing that boxing taught me is, you know, I fought at 154 pounds. These girls are strong. I mean, there's 400 pounds of pressure in my uppercut alone, and they will kill you in the ring. And so when you have got to face somebody who's salivating, I remember I fought a girl and I looked across the ring. We were waiting for the first bell to ring, and she wanted to kill me so bad I could see it in her eyes. And I was like, dear God, I mean, like, oh my gosh, you know, like, this girl is rich. That kind of fear that fighters feel, and every fighter is afraid. Every fighter is afraid. I say to myself nowadays, I say, well, shoot, if I can get through my nose coming off of my face in Beijing, China, and had to be surgically put back on, you know, I can get through anything. So as a fighter, once you've been hit repeatedly or backed up into a corner, it has just taught me, like, oh, really? What can be worse than that, Cristy? You know, there's nothing that you can go through that. So that's a lot of that's being an athlete has taught me, you know, how to be a better business owner and entrepreneur.
Wow. You hit there 2 points that I really enjoy. First is you said, I mean, you were a boxer for 8 years, yet you had 15 pro fights, right? And I want to compare this to soccer because, I mean, in soccer, at least we play once a week, pretty much, the season, right? So we have a lot of games throughout the season. Yeah. But I feel like being a fighter, right there, like practicing for so long, waiting for a fight. I mean, if we do the math, that'll be, if we divide it equally, that'll be like 2 fights per year. So imagine you have to be training for 6 months without having to perform, right? And then having to step into the ring. Like, that takes determination right there. And that is so important, because you need to do the work even with people when people are not watching you, right? You need to put in the work, and you need to be prepared for when the opportunity comes. And I think that we took that from our dad. He would always say, like, hey, you need to be ready, because you never know who's going to be watching a soccer game, you know, when he's going to be watching a soccer game. Like, if the opportunity comes and you are not ready, he's going to leave without you. He's not going to wait for you, right? You need to prepare yourself and be ready for that opportunity.
Yeah.
And well, let me jump in, because you asked me a question. You said, well, what can people do to prepare? Because a lot of people look at me and they say, well, Cristy, I'm not a pro fighter. Yeah. I'm a stay-at-home mother of 2, or I'm a 22-year-old, you know, stockbroker. I get that. So what can you do that's going to teach you to show up? What can you do consistently? Just pick 1 or 2 things that you know you can do every single day and not skimp on and not flake on. You know, we know as athletes, the 3 of us sitting right here, we understand the grind, we understand consistency, we understand routine. We had no choice. We had coaches. You had to show up. And if you guys were like me, you had sponsors. You had to show up. So if you don't have that, or you're not an athlete, whatever, you can still do something, but pick 2 things you can be consistent at and show up every day. Don't try to bit every single thing. That's why New Year's resolutions suck. I wrote a book called New Year's Resolutions Suck. And because people want to do everything. Well, they can't keep up with everything. Yeah. What can you do? Pick them and nail them consistently every day.
Yes, love that.
Pick him
I love that.
and nail him.
Yes, we should put that on the wall back here.
That goes right here.
And wait, no, because I had two things. I had two things to say.
Okay.
The second one is fear, right? And
Yes,
I know
you read my mind, bro.
It's like we're brothers.
Okay, good.
So I know I think your last episode on your podcast was about this, and you have a special acronym for fear, and I can sense that it's a topic that you really enjoy talking about too. So would you mind spilling the beans about fear?
FEAR stands for false evidence appearing real. And it's such bullcrap that doesn't ever come. It doesn't ever happen. It doesn't ever, come to happen. But yet you work yourself up into this tizzy because you think it just might. Well, all that energy has been wasted to you worrying that it might happen, something that there's a 99.9% chance it won't. And so what are you doing? You need to be putting your all your energy into your online business, all your energy into your life coaching business, all your energy into your skincare line, instead of like, oh, what if? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't. Sally doesn't like my hair. I don't. Well, no one's gonna show up to my live. Oh, well, maybe what if I don't sell anything? Man, knock that crap off. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Show up.
Yeah.
Like, my gosh, you gotta like walk your dogs and keep your kids alive and like there's so many other crap that needs you, and you're wasting so much bullcrap energy on crap that'll never happen. My gosh, ain't nobody got time for that. So false evidence appearing real. It's not real. It's appearing real because of the crap you're putting in your mind. So knock it off.
Wow, that deserves a standing ovation.
That's a gong moment.
Golden boulder right here.
Everything.
This is amazing, right? Because we often say that. I mean, I feel like mainly the reason why people don't get in front of the camera is that fear, right? That false evidence appearing real. And for me personally, I was afraid of my friends, like my best friends, like judging me or saying something to me, And again, false evidence appearing real. They have done nothing but support. Like, dude, like so maybe they crack a joke here and there, but they're my friends. Of course, they're gonna crack jokes, right? And it's mind blowing the effect that being in front of a camera has had on us, because it just helps. It just builds up that confidence. And when I find myself in fear, I ask myself, like, what is the worst it can happen if I don't do it, right? And usually the answer is, I'm just going to be in the exact same place as if I do it and I fail, right? Yeah. Like, so it's totally okay. You can take that chance. And if it doesn't go your way, it's very rarely, like you say, like you're not going to be worse off than where you are right now. I think it's worse not taking action, because then that takes mental space. That takes a mental toll. And then you start beating yourself up and you're like, oh no, I didn't do it. I cannot do this. And then the next time you're going to do it, you're going to be carrying all that baggage with you. And it just builds up on top of it. Yeah. So I think taking action is like the cure for so many things, honestly.
And I think that's a perfect segue, Cristy. Thank you so much. Like, that's like, we're literally going to grab that and that's going to be plastered everywhere, you're saying, because everybody needs to listen to that message. What is an action point? What is something that someone can do today to start getting that momentum, right? They're on a rut. They need to like get out of that funk. Like, what's something that they can do and get a quick win to get the momentum going?
Yeah. A couple of things. 2 points on this. I'm going to touch on your health. I'm going to touch on your business. Your first thing is you need to take a look. You need to take a good, hard, long look in the mirror and a look at yourself and say, do I feel good? Am I ordering pizza delivery 4 times a week and I'm waking up with migraine headaches? Like, you cannot show up for your audience, and you cannot show up for your message, and you can't deliver your message if you are always feeling like crap. So why aren't you taking care of you? Stop using that whole I stay up all night as a badge of honor. Get your sleep and start drinking your water and start freaking taking care of yourself. You're overweight and you're sick and you're on loads of medication. How can you show up as your best self? That's crappy. And that's something you can stop right now. Something immediate action that you can take on your business is doing a live. These are free platforms. Facebook is free. Instagram is free. YouTube is free. And you're pissing it away because you are just too afraid. Turn the camera on, turn it around and say something. It doesn't have to be mind earth shattering, oh, that's going to go in. It doesn't have to be. It's just you showing up and say something. Go live right now. When we get off of here, I want you to go live and say something on your Instagram or your Facebook. And they don't like it. People don't like it. They won't follow you. So who cares?
Better.
Like, you'll get more followers. You'll lose some. You win some. You lose some. But when this is over, when we end this, I want you to turn your phone around and say something to your followers and your fans and your audience. I don't care what it is. Say something. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your background looks like. Say something. Leave them with some nugget, whatever is on your heart. Do it right after this.
So amazing. Thank you.
Wow,
Guys,
thank you so much.
Please, to this person, Cristy, amazing. Incredible. Thank you for sharing your story. I think this is probably my favorite question of the entire show. It's the last one.
Wait, before you say that, before you ask that question,
Handbrake.
Handbrake right there. Cristy, I just love what you said so much, because also I feel like going live and just putting your message out there is a filter to make your life better. Because the people that don't want to hear you, they're gonna go out the door and they're gonna leave your life, right? And they're gonna be like, bye, see ya. And
thank you.
You're just gonna keep the people that love hearing your message and that love hanging out with you, right? Just being in a better environment. So thank you so much for sharing that.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Now you can.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's like, what's your favorite taco flavor? No, I'm kidding. So here is where will you be if you did not publish?
Where would I be if I did not publish?
As in being out there with your message, with the publishing that you do, you are everywhere, right? Obviously, there's a path to that, but where will you think you'd be if you did not publish?
Oh my gosh. Oh man, I can't imagine my life not doing what I do now. But if I would be in a gym, I absolutely love working out. I love if I didn't publish, if I didn't run Code Red and I didn't do content all the time and everything, I would be just I would be in the gym working out all day long, or I'd be on the trail with my dog Annabelle.
Wow. Thank you so much
for sharing that. I mean, you are impacting millions of people like every single day. What you built with your team, with your business, with your coaches, with your audience, with your tribe. It's truly amazing. Today you gained 2 more for sure. Marley has been saying it every single day. And now we're true fans, and we're at some point we'll get involved somehow. We're like, Cristy, here we go.
We are Code Red fans. For sure. I mean, you have definitely impacted us today. I already feel like I know I had the fire, but you helped it even grew it more. I'm like, I have so much energy right now. I literally need to go out for a couple runs.
Guys, if you're watching right now live, Chris is going to be talking this afternoon at Content Machine Live with Marley Jacks, Alex Sharfen, Russell Brunson, Steve Larson. There's still time. Go get your tickets, contentmachinelive.com. And then we'll see you also at the VIP tomorrow, Saturday. So freaking excited. How can we find you, Cristy? How can people connect with you if they dig you, if they want your message? How can they reach out to you?
The best thing to do is always start with going to 10poundtakedown.com. I can help you. I can help you get some weight off. I can help you start feeling better by going through 10 Pound Takedown. But on all the social media, on all the platforms, my handle is still the same, and it's at Cristy Code Red. And you can always find me there. And of course, just look for the hair. Just look for the hair.
Easy peasy. So easy to find you, Cristy. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much. And I think that's it.
You stand out not only with your hair, but with your awesome personality.
I know. We feel like you're like right here, even though you're like on the other side of the country. We're like, that's it.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw this out there. We're going to have to do a live show at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Bring up the energy. Bring the DJ. Let's do it. All right.
That's right. Yes.
Cristy, we need the Hispanic goodbye. But with that being said, thank you so much for tuning into the Content is Profit podcast. Go ahead and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button and follow us on social media at BeastBrosCo.
That is right. And if you find this episode impactful, which I am sure you did, it was mind-blowing. Don't forget to share it and leave a 5-star review. Thank you.
Bye.